Welcome everyone to the 69th edition of Master Mike's Wrestling Paradise. I'm your host, Master Mike Ambrose, and sorry if I've been away for a while. I've been busy with stuff, work and stuff, holidays, Thanksgiving. Now we're into Christmas, so. Although I did a show right after Thanksgiving weekend, I believe I did show that weekend. So other than that, I've been pretty busy and stuff. I had a little cough I was dealing with, but I'm okay now. So let's get on with some news, and boy, we got some big news going on today. Over the past couple of days, if you haven't heard, Mandy Rose has been released. What happened is she had a site, her own site. She's in NXT. Before I get to it, she had her own website feed, and it was featuring stuff that were kind of adult, let's just say. And obviously she's in NXT, and they have a thing with NXT stuff. You can kind of do things down there that you can't do on the main roster because you're not in on the upper up. You know what I mean. You're not like on the high priority thing when you're in. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. If you're in NXT, it's a developmental show, but down there, because maybe you're not touring or stuff, the money's different, and if there's other things you can do to make extra money, they can kind of allow that to a point. So, obviously she was down there, and she was on the main roster, and I think she's still under her main roster contract, so she had a good deal there. She was still under her main roster contract when she went down there, and, obviously did this on the side. I thought she was doing real well in NXT, to be honest with you. I thought her and Toxic Attraction were one of the highlights of the show, and I thought they were headed to the main roster for sure. And that's the reason why she was released is because apparently Mattel got involved, and they're a big sponsor of WWE, and that kind of put the kibosh, and they felt they had no other choice to release her because they didn't want to lose sponsor. They had someone that had an OnlyFans site on their roster. So I don't know. It was just it's too bad for her, but that should be she should do all right. She's got her site's making money, and good for her in that regard, but. I think we'll see her in another company. I wouldn't be surprised if AEW will definitely make a run at her. And let me just say, people say, oh, AEW, they always hire everybody. They hire everybody. They hire all this. They hire all that. And, they hire everybody. But I think she'd be a good, right now with the buzz she has, she'd be a good pickup. And I don't know when her compete because usual the main rosters are 90 days, and she wouldn't be up till. Let's say she released yesterday, it would be March 14th, and oddly enough, that's when AEW's is in Winnipeg. But if, say hypothetical, she got a 30-day, because she was in NXT at the time of the release, she would be released on January 14th, so she could be on another show, another company, this time next month. It kind of almost reminds me, the way the release, when Malachi Black, got released by WWE. He was on the main roster, but there was a clerical error. And I talked about this in my very first episode here. And on episode 1, you could go back and listen. There was an error. That's why he ended up staying. Not staying. He got released, but it was released from. He kept his NXT contract on the main roster. The paperwork was from the NXT. There was an error. They didn't transfer what was in the contract to. The from NXT to the main roster, so he was only out in 30 days, and he debuted in AEW in a month, so he only had to spend 1 month off TV, and he got off the road doing anything. So he was only it was 30 day, so it'd be a 90-day non-compete. It turned into a 30-day. So and then he was in AEW the next as soon as it was done, and that was in July 2021. And so I don't know if Mandy's did they switch it over? I know she was making main roster money, but will she be switched over to the main NXT contract? I don't know. We shall see. Well, we'll know a month from now if she's not on any show. Then we know it's a 90-day non-compete. Another news: Matt Riddle suspended. They said it was cocaine-ish. And, cocaine, and, he's had some issues, so hopefully he gets off that. I thought it was entertaining. It seems like without Orton by his side, he's kind of all, stuck in a rut. They had him do an England where Sol Sikoa took him out with the spike and, hit him in the throat, and we don't know if that's building up to a feud or whatnot. Usually he's like a bit of like 30 days or so. So he'll be back tight for the Rumble, I hope. Hopefully. He's going to go rehab too, so hopefully he's okay. Speaking of, I went to on NXT. We have a new women's champ because Mandy Rose was the NXT Women's Champion for 413 days, and you obviously in all this hoopla and talk, we crowned a new women's champion. It was Roxanne at Takeover at Deadline. She won the Iron Survivor match, which is a really good match. 25-minute match. She went the whole distance, winning, and she got the chance for the NXT Women's title, and she cashed in on Tuesday night and won. You know, in retrospect, if you go back and watch the NXT show, now they built it up, you could tell it was rushed to a point because right away she's cutting the pro. Mandy Rose attacks her. Now that looked okay. You look at it and it's like, okay, they're building to something. They're gonna start a feud, and then she goes, and all of a sudden, Mandy's out there, you know, attacks her, hits her behind the belt, rocks in the ring. She like shouting to a match tonight. Now I'm starting to think, are they gonna do it tonight? Are they gonna change the title tonight? And they never did like any backstage promos with Mandy or Roxanne, so you knew something was kind of not up and up. Well, not as I mean, you kind of know something didn't seem right. It's like, with Mandy there, or like because it's like, not only that, you didn't see Talk to the Attraction come out and help talk to Mandy. There was no interest with Gigi Dolan and JCJ with Mandy during the whole show. They were off doing Gigi and JC were doing their own thing. They kind of feel the NXT tag titles, and I don't know women's tag titles, and I don't know what's gonna happen to them now. So I guess they're gonna stay in NXT a little longer. I don't know. So there's that. And then at the end, of course, the match was good for what it was. It was like a 10-minute match, and you know they kind of built. They were building. You know the announce team was promoting Vic Joseph and Booker T, which I get to it. Were really promoting it up, especially Booker T, because if you know, he trained Roxanne down in Texas. His promotes reality wrestling in Houston, so he obviously was really into it. You know, you could really tell tonight. And sometimes Booker T gets goofy on commentary, but he really seemed into it because obviously he has a connection to this young lady, Roxanne Perez, and you know, now she's the new champion. And the match was good. She won with the Pop Rocks. And then after that, she was just like, you see Mandy, if you look at the camera, watch the last few minutes of the show. Like last minutes, the camera zooms in on Mandy. And you think it's just Mandy's pissed and like, this long reign's over. But deep down, she probably knew something was going to happen. And then she was released afterwards. In the men's Iron Survivor show, we had Grayson Waller from Australia winning that match. And he's going to challenge Braun Breaker for the title. Should be a good match there. I wonder if they're going to switch the title. Braun Breaker gets called up because he's been like the top guy in NXT for like the year since that reboot last year. So, should be interesting. You got a lot of good talent in NXT right now. You got those two guys. You got JD McDonough. You got Axiom. Carmelo Hayes, one of my favorites. A lot of good talent down there. What else you got? Oh, you got, you said Waller. I said McDonough. Axiom. Oh, let's see. There's so many good talent there. You got the tag. Pretty Deadly's a good tag team. Speaking of tag team, New Day are the NXT Tag Champs because they beat Pretty Deadly in the match. And it was good. Good match. This was on the Deadline show, and you know, they came out and they won. And they had a thing, the celebration the next night, and they had a thing where if you could say the Prince of Legions, you get a title shot, and you know, Josh Briggs and Brooks Jensen won that, and they say the Prince of Legions, so they might be getting a title shot. So you know, they got all good, great young talent down there, and there's no question about that. Also, Wesley's down there, he's good. Donovan Dijak showed up down there, and he's really good. Of course, you know, I think Apollo Crews has had a rebirth. He's done pretty well so far down there since returning. All good stuff going on there. Let's see what else we got. Oh, they got the Bruins game on in the background. Nothing. So I'll be checking back with that. Oh, I think Impact's on right now. On Access. Yeah, Impact's on, and we got Eddie Edwards representing Boston against Delirious. Old Ring of Honor staple. Used to be Booker there, so. And I think Lucas Brothers booking when Eddie Edwards is there, so that's good to know. We'll see. Alright. That's it for tonight. I'll be talking with you in other days. See if anything else happens. This whole situation involving Mandy or Matt Riddle. We'll see what happens. Alright. Take care, everybody. Good night. Bye-bye.